Listening, ESL 93, pages 158 to 160.
Listening to, preparing to listen. Write the words from the box to complete the sentences. Repeat after me. Culture. This is like a CH sound where the T is. Culture. Enjoy. Enjoy. Favorite. Favorite. The O is kind of omitted here. It's an omitted vowel. Favorite. Or you could say favorite. 3 syllables. Healthy. Hit that H sound. Healthy. Same with this one. Home cooked. Home cooked. The ED here makes a T sound. Home cooked. Meal. Meal. 1 syllable, long E sound. Complete numbers 1 through 6 on your own using the definitions to help you. Pause the video now and press play when you're ready to check your work. Number 1. My grandmother almost never ate at restaurants. She always made good food at home. Everyone liked her blank food. We know that food is a noun, so the word here has to be an adjective. We're given 3 adjectives to work with: favorite, healthy, home cooked. Use your context clues to determine the best answer. She always made good food at home. Home. So this must be home cooked. Number 2, which blank do you like the best? Breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Which meal do you like the best? Number 3, eating out is not always blank. It's probably better to cook fresh food at home. Well, they're telling us cooking fresh food at home is the opposite of eating out. Eating out is not always healthy. Look for those other adjectives. We've used healthy, home cooked, and meal. The next time we need an adjective, we know it has to be favorite. My blank food is Italian. Food is the noun, an adjective describes the noun, so this must be favorite. Mi comida favorita. I really blank going to restaurants that serve international food. It's always fun to try something new. I really blank going to. This is going to be a verb, even though going to is another verb. I really enjoy. That's kind of like I really like. I really enjoy going to restaurants. In my country's blank, we usually make special meals for celebrations or holidays. Well, if we use those 2, we know the last one must be culture. Does that make sense here? In my country's culture, we usually make special meals for celebrations and holidays. Yes, that makes perfect sense. Don't be overwhelmed by the chart on the next page. Take the questions at the top and let's answer them together. In a moment, you're going to hear a student give a report. Before you listen, look at the information below. We are going to predict content using visuals. This requires some common sense thinking. Number 1, what kind of restaurant are you going to hear about in question 1? Look at question 1 only. What kind of restaurant are we going to hear about? Well, the question is asking, is fast food popular in France? What kind of restaurant? A fast food restaurant. So the answer to number 1 is, we are going to hear about a fast food restaurant. Do the same for number 2. Which answer do you think will be more popular to question 2? Yes or no? You've used graphs before, so one of these is going to be yes and one of these is going to be no. The question is asking, is eating together with others important? Is it important to eat food with other people? Well, if I think about my family, yes, it is important that I eat dinner every night with my son and my husband. So I would say yes. I think most people will say yes, which will not be A, it will be B. Yes and no. Again, we're making predictions. We have no real way of knowing if that is true, that people will answer this way. But I think most people will say yes, it's important to eat together. And question 3, what do you think the answer will be in question 3? How do French people feel about food? Look at A and look at B. Clearly, the vast majority of people, about 80%, are appearing with answer A. We don't know what that answer is, but I'm guessing that French people feeling about food, maybe they're going to say it's important or it's part of their culture. A little tiny sliver here will probably say, no, it's not important. But again, we won't know that answer until we listen to the conversation. This section was all about making predictions using common sense and the visuals in front of us. In 7.4, you're going to listen to a student report the results of a survey. Circle the correct answers. Number 1, the main topic of her survey is. Number 2, most people eat meals. Where do they eat meals? And number 3, the student thinks that fast food is what? Here's 7.4.
Hello, I'm Sophie. This afternoon, I'm going to tell you the results of my survey. My questions were on the topic of food and culture in France. I think this is an interesting topic. There were 3 questions in my survey. The French love food and it's very important to them. So my first question was, do they eat a lot of fast food in France? I learned something really surprising. The French eat a lot of fast food. In fact, it's their favorite food for eating out. You can see here that 54% of all restaurant sales were from fast food places. I didn't know it was so popular. In one survey I read, in the past, people had 80 minutes for lunch, and now only 22 minutes. Because lunches are shorter, people can't go home for home-cooked meals, so they eat fast food. I also read that more people eat alone or at their desks than they did before. My second question was, is eating together with others important? For most, 80% of the people, meals are still a time to eat and talk together. My last question was, how do the French feel about food? Scientists believe that feeling good about food is better for your health. So when you look here, 84% of the people in France enjoy food. The taste is very important for French people. They eat healthy foods like fresh fruits, vegetables, fish, meats, and breads. Even fast food restaurants have to make meals that taste better than usual. Well, I wasn't surprised by that. Like everywhere, fast food is cheaper and easier for workers. So my conclusion is, fast food is changing some traditions about eating in France. What do you think? Is fast food good or bad for our mealtime traditions?
Let's review the answers. Number 1, the main topic of her survey was B, food and culture in one country. What was that country? France. Number 2, most people eat meals alone, at work, or with others. This was a tricky one. At first, I heard her say more people are eating alone at their desks. However, she then goes on to say that when she asks people if they eat with others, most people say that they value eating with others. So the correct answer is C. And number 3, the student thinks that fast food is not popular? No, it is very popular in France, so that can't be our answer. Does it taste bad in France? No, people eat it all the time. So the correct answer is B. Fast food is changing the way people eat in France. Go back in the video and listen to 7.4 again. Write T for true or F for false. Pause the video now and listen to 7.4. Then come back to this section and we will go over the answers. Okay. Number 1, 54% of all restaurant sales were from fast food places. That is true. Number 2, 80% of people like to eat with others. True. In France, enjoying food is very important. True. Because of the French culture, fast food restaurants have to cook better meals than usual. True. And 5, traditions about eating are the same now as they were before. This is false. Traditions about eating have changed. They are very different now than they were long ago. Consider the discussion questions. They're just for you to reflect on. And nice job with listening today.